All right, welcome to our quickie review series. This is episode 4, but our first featuring a locomotive. Um, so what we have here before us is a Scaletrains.com model of an SD40-2. This is part of their Operator series, and it comes decorated, as you can see, in the Ferrocarril Mexicano Railroad, also known as Ferromex. And if I butcher the name of the railroad, I do sincerely apologize. So we got a little bit of a nod to our mile railroad friends south of the border here. Um, First off, thanks to everybody that subscribed to the channel. We do hope you are enjoying the videos that you are watching, and be sure to like, comment, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. We got hopefully a lot more great videos we're gonna be doing. So yeah, be sure to subscribe. Also subscribe to the West Plains Mile Railroad Club YouTube channel. I run trains with those guys quite a bit during the holiday season and fall, and also the fall when they set up their layout up there at the fairgrounds. So yeah, be sure to check out their channel too. See what they got going on. Okay, with that being said, we will begin the review of this locomotive. Um, as I mentioned before, this is a Scaletrains.com operator engine. The thing is, with these operator engines, uh, they are a one body style fits all paint schemes. Meaning no matter what road name is on the side of this locomotive, the details will be the same for all of them. That is not the case with the rivet counter engine. It will have road specific detailing. Um, so uh, it will match the road. If you're looking for something that's super detailed, looks just like the real thing, I suggest go for the rivet counter. But if you're a mile rower on a tight budget, but you want a really good engine, to be honest, I don't think you can beat these. I don't think you can beat these operator engines. Uh, Maybe Atherton ready to roll, but still, uh, I still say these are the best bang for your buck engine. These Scaletrains engines right here. So, but anyway, we'll take a look at this engine. Uh, so we'll just grab it up and we'll start with the truck detail on this engine. Uh, for an engine that's roughly about $100, that is some really nice detail on these trucks for the SD40-2. We'll move over here to the rear truck, and you can see uh, these trucks have separately applied brake cylinders and shock struts. And of course, you see the air tank, fuel tank underneath, and also they paint the fuel filler cap and the fuel sight gauge right there. You see that painted red right there. So that's really nice there. And also, the Scaletrains engines come with their in-house coupler. The operator couplers are, of course, plastic. They are not metal, like the rivet counter couplers. Um, if you watch the video on the Atherton ready to roll cars, which also use their in-house brand, their own in-house branded coupler, of course, the McHenry couplers with Atherton. These plastic couplers would be okay for what I like to call normal mile train use, and what I mean by that is if you're pulling like 20 cars or less, 25 cars or less. These couplers, and most people don't even go that far. I mean, like for probably a lot of people, it's probably more like 10, 10 at the most. So, under those circumstances, these couplers hold up just fine. If you plan to use this locomotive and any of the other operator engines will have the Dash 9 in Part 2, I would suggest changing these couplers out and putting KDs in them, or I did get an email from Scaletrains here a while back saying that they probably were going to release their rivet counter couplers. I don't know when they will be doing that. You could go that route as well. Their couplers are pretty good too. However, with these operator couplers, the only issue I've had, and it hasn't happened with all of them, I have had on one occasion with another locomotive like this. It was an SD40-2 too, as well. I actually had the coupler stick open on that particular locomotive. I don't know why it did that. Could be just flashing, getting caught in the coupler's mechanism, making it stick. Not sure why that is. So anyway, but other than that, this is an outstanding engine. It shares the drive line of the rivet counter, so essentially mechanically, this locomotive and its rivet counter counterpart are basically mechanically the same engine. Of course, like I said, with the operator, they lack the road-specific detailing, but honestly, this is still a very, very good engine. I don't mind that this engine, doesn't have all the road-specific stuff. This is one of those, as we've mentioned with the freight cars that we reviewed. These are basically take out of the box, go out, have fun, just have a good time with them. They do sell an upgrade kit that includes things like the MU hoses, the coupler cut levers, and the wire grab irons for this locomotive. And they also sell kits for all of their operator engines and freight cars to dress them up. So, if you want to really, make them stand out a little bit, they do have an upgrade kit for them. It includes all the goodies to put on them. If you choose to dress them up, I personally probably won't do that to any of these operator engines or cars, simply because I'm kind of a less is more type of guy. Because the more stuff you throw on these things, in my mind, the more risk you're taking breaking parts off and stuff. So, I basically just leave them as they are. But they do include some really nice little nuggets I'm going to show you on this engine. Of course, we have the exhaust stack. And interestingly, the exhaust stack is actually see-through. I don't know if it can pick it up on the camera or not, but it's actually a see-through piece, and that's really, really neat. And the fans are really done well. I'm going to try to hold this engine where I can show you the fans, but there's the fans. And even though these aren't see-through, there's a lot of nice depth to these fans. They look really good. Of course, the two front ones are dynamic brake fans, and the three on the rear, the radiator cooling fans. And like I said, for being cast pieces as part of the body, those are really nicely done. And of course, we'll flip it over. We have the rear printed number boards, and also we have the class lights. They are non-functioning, of course, but we do have the class lights. That leads me also to believe that the body style they chose for this operator engine is the Conrail body style because of that, because of these class lights. So that leads me to believe this is actually a Conrail body style that they chose. Uh, Still a very good, very good rendering of this locomotive, and this engine is available in Conrail too. So just in case you're interested in it, and just a side note, one of the reasons why I bought the Ferromex engine, I just love the paint scheme. Um, these these stripes right here, these red stripes. I mean, that is just really nice. I have seen the real Ferromex engines, not one of these SD40s, but I have seen their Gevos and SD70 Aces. Um, I work out at Thayer and driving rail crew vans, and so I get a chance to see these locomotives often, along with the with BNSF. So, the Ferromex engines are often run through power on BNSF trains. So you see them quite often. I just really like the nose striping. Of course, we'll turn it around here and let you look at the front. And there's the front ones. Interestingly, they use two different color striping. On the front plow, they have the dark green. Of course, on the rear, they have red striping on the piles. But that's really nice. And of course, there's the cab there. We have, just like the back, we have class lights right there on the nose. Really nice print number boards. The Leslie 3-chime air horn. Really nice engine here. We'll put it back on the track here. Make sure it's on the track good. Okay, and then what we're going to do, we're going to turn it on and let it run. And just listen to the motor sound on this thing. I mean, look at that. I'm just going to be quiet for a minute because I want you to listen. I mean, that's silent. Okay. Reverse. I mean, that's a really nice smooth drive line. And interestingly, one other thing I will note, I'm going to back this engine up just a little bit forward here, and I'm going to turn the camera around like that. I have not seen this detail on other operator engines, with the exception of this, with the SD40-2 that Scaletrains operates. And I'm going to try and turn it around where it'll show up. Notice that they put the bell on this locomotive. And we'll see if my camera will focus there. You might, well, something ain't right. My camera's not focusing. But anyway, I don't know if you can see there or not. But I do not know of another operator engine that has this bell detail on it, because the Gevo I have doesn't have it, and from what I can tell, the Dash 9 I have also doesn't sport a bell on it. That's not an indictment against Scaletrains for leaving that detail off. I'm sure they have their reasoning, but I just find that kind of interesting that they put it on this locomotive, not the others. And as I said before, they have, I'm sure they have a reason for doing that, but it's just kind of interesting. I don't know if the SD45 has that same detail on it. So if somebody can drop me a comment, letting me know if it has that detail. That's kind of interesting, because I've always been kind of curious about that. Why only this engine has that detail on it, none of the others. So, like I said, not an indictment against Scaletrains. I'm not throwing them under the bus for for that. I'm just kind of a curious guy. So, but anyway, also just as a side note, if you want to check out a video that's where you can see the difference between the operator and the rivet counter versions of this SD40-2, Track 10 Trains did a video, I'm going to say a couple of weeks ago or a few weeks ago, somewhere in that neighborhood, where they actually did a side-by-side review of the rivet counter and operator engines. And if you get a chance, check that video out, because it's a really nice, they did a really nice job kind of doing the comparisons of the operator versus the rivet counter. So if you want to check out a video, wondering, just, if you're new to the hobby and kind of looking for engines, because there are people that from what I've seen, just at the displays we have, a lot of people's interested in getting into the hobby and are kind of getting their feet wet and kind of figuring out, where they should put their money and how much should they want to budget and such. And we may do videos like that in the future. Or I said I may do videos like that in the future. Yeah, I mean, like I said, check that video out. It's a pretty good education on the operator versus Scaletrain, where where your best fit might want to be at. So, but anyway, that'll take care of the review of this locomotive. We hope you enjoyed. I figured it'd be something a little different. Have a little different paint scheme to look at. This is a very nice engine. It's a very smooth performer. Like I said, it uses the same driveline as the rivet counter, which makes it a very, very solid engine. And we will leave it at that, and we will hook this up to our passenger train and end the video with a run by. So we do hope you enjoy this video, and be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And be sure to check out part 2 when we do our second of this Scaletrains operator double shot, when we take a look at the C44-9W in Union Pacific colors. So that might be something you might want to check out too. So we'll see you in part 2, and we'll leave you with a run by.